Okay, I'm Chris Avina with American Outdoor News, and today we have a very controversial topic. We're speaking to Don Gittleson of Gittleson Angus Ranch in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Don, thanks for coming on.
Yes, actually, where the ranch is, I'm from Steamboat Springs originally, but the ranch is actually in Walden, Colorado.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
Now, you have a wolf problem.
yeah, that's an understatement. Yeah, we have a wolf problem. Yeah, we've got wolves that have come down from Wyoming, and so they've chosen my place and a couple other ranches up here to call home. So,
well, I know that they recently delisted the wolves again, which numbers-wise does not make sense. How is it affecting you on a day-to-day?
so right now we don't get a lot of sleep. So we have a few people that volunteer that come up here, and they spend part of the night out there, and then I, either myself or my wife or my son, we'll spend a portion of the night up, making sure the wolves don't come into the cows.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a flag fence up that they put up, but we're not sure that it will keep the wolves out. At some point, they'll figure out how to get through it. So, yeah.
Please explain what that is and the cost.
So it's a polywire electric fence, like a little temporary fence you would use for wire fence for horses or that. And then it has ribbons on it about probably 18 inches apart that are probably about 3 feet wide by, I bet they're close to 18 inches long. And they're supposed to wave in the wind in that. And that's supposed to scare the wolves. And then the electricity is supposed to help keep them out too. So they have a small charger on them, a solar charger on them.
Well, I've seen these fences and they don't look very high.
No, so they want it low enough the wolf can't go under it.
What about over it? These are big animals.
Yes, so they could jump over it. I can tell you that they can jump as high as my chest because I've seen them do it over a wire fence. But yeah, I think the fact that the flags waving are supposed to scare them. They have been up to it and right up to it. I think most animals can sense when there's electricity running through a wire. And so I think they sense that. Now, unless they touch that thing with their nose, they have enough hair that it's not going to shock them. So if they try to go under it or something, they really won't get shocked. I accidentally touched the wire once, and I would say it's uncomfortable, but it's not. I've used electric fence to keep bulls away from cows and things like that. And the ones I use for the cattle, if you touch that, you don't ever want to touch it again. And this fence is not that.
Tell them how much.
Oh, it's also, so we only went around about half the pasture that I wanted to get around for the cows. But the cost of that fence that's out there right now is $15,000.
3 miles.
What's less than 3 miles? So it's yeah, it's expensive.
That's a big expense to swallow, especially when you're losing your investment. Could be on a daily basis.
Yeah, so I don't have to pay for the fence right now. The USDA is, they supplied the fence. They had to go get part of it in Montana, but so, and then Defenders of the Wildlife supplied a third of it,
Mhm.
a third of the fence for them to use. Now, if something happens where that fence gets damaged, then I have to pay for it. But
You're dealing with wildlife.
yeah, well, so if the cattle do it, if the cattle come up to get it, I guess they'll eat the ribbon and that. And so that stuff costs over $4,000 a mile. So then I would have to pay for it. And which is why we cut a pasture in half. If we would have been able to go all the way around the pasture, the cows wouldn't be able to get to that ribbon.
Yeah.
But it also took, I had a bunch of the local ranchers volunteered to come out here. So we had over a dozen people here for 6 hours to put that fence up.
And that's just on your ranch.
That's on my ranch. And the pasture that we did is the largest they've ever done. And
Wow.
it's not, we didn't do at least what I consider a very big section of ground.
Well, let's try and put things in perspective here. People and these animal activists, they see the wolf as a cuddly dog. These are big animals compared to a dog. What's the size difference?
So they're more the size of what you see the big guard dogs. So like Saint Bernard, only
That's a big animal.
only not as cuddly. So yes, they're very big. I get people here when we've had hunters here that they'll see a track and they'll go, well, we're not sure if it's a coyote track or a wolf track. And I tell them, if you're not sure, it's a coyote.
Yep.
Because when you see the footprint from a wolf, you are not going to mistake that for a coyote. They're much larger. So, and I know a lot of people think they're majestic and they're such a great animal. I compare them more, if you're talking in the human world, with Jeffrey Dahmer.
The simple fact of the matter is a wolf is a killing machine.
Oh yes,
You look at what they've done to the elk population in Yellowstone Park. They're decimating it. And not just the elk, the deer and coyotes. They're territorial. They don't want another dog in their area.
No, they go after the dogs. I mean, up here they look for my dogs. I can't have them outside when I'm not around. So I can't let them out at night without me being out there with them. One of our neighbor's dogs was killed by probably only one or two wolves.
Wow.
Not even the whole pack. And you know what with the cattle here, the one cow that they tore up, they actually had an elk at the same time.
Wow.
And they didn't kill or eat any of them. I mean, they did kill a coyote at the same time that they were after the cows. So yeah, I mean, they're right now they're teaching their young to kill. So they don't even kill something to eat all of it. They are killing it to teach the young to kill.
The training ground.
Yes.
Now,
So
prior to them being delisted again, what were your alternatives to protect your animals, your pets, your livestock? What were your alternatives? How were you able to deter these animals?
Okay, so until we had 3 animals dead, our alternative, and a lot of this is because we have a governor that hates the livestock industry
Yep.
and loves the wolves. My alternatives were to sit and watch it happen. That was my alternative. I was not supposed to be chasing wolves away, not shooting at wolves, had nothing I could do to keep them out. So the fencing that we have now, we weren't allowed to use that. We weren't allowed to use sound to chase them off. Basically sit there and watch your animal get killed. That was our alternative.
Okay, so wolves come in, they kill one of your cows. What is the financial repercussions for you for one cow?
So where I'm at, we live at a high elevation. So we're the ranch itself, the house is at 8,200 feet, and we go higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
So cattle don't handle high elevation that well. If I were to go to a lower elevation by cattle, they may not survive here. So the cattle we have here and the other ranches up here, their cattle are selected to live at this elevation. So we can't just replace them that easily.
Yep.
Now I sell bulls for people in the higher elevation. So when I lose an animal, I lose a cow that's bred, I lose that calf too. So that's part of our income. It's not something that you can say, oh, they'll pay you for it and you're reimbursed. No, that's like any business. If you take away the means that they make their business and say, well, I'll just pay you for your loss of that day.
Yeah.
You can't sustain a business that way.
So it's not just the loss of the cow, it's a residual loss of income.
Yes, correct.
Wow. Okay, so now they're giving you these fences that they think are going to keep the wolves out as part of a cost prevention. The other alternative they're recommending is guard dogs.
Yes, so, well, actually, a lot of the people are not recommending guard dogs for us because right now the wolves have set up this as their home range. And I have about 8 or 9 wolves here. And for guard dogs to be effective here, I would need to have more than that number of guard dogs. And dogs are an attractant to the wolves, so they're going to seek out dogs. So in my situation, they're not really recommending guard dogs because they're afraid that the dogs would just get killed.
So basically they want you to create your own pack and have one gang against the other, like the Sharks against the Jets.
that would be a very, that's kind of the situation. It's there are people that are going to do that. The thing that you need to think about is if you're against dog fights, then that is the exact scenario that we would be setting up.
That's something to think about that they obviously have not considered.
Yes, so that is truly the scenario that you're setting up now. In the sheep industry, and that's their best, best way that they can keep wolves out of their sheep. It's not an ideal situation for anybody.
Well, I know the wolf numbers should be regulated by the state, like any other species, not on a federal level. I mean, you look at the wolf population and the management levels in Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, they're at all-time highs, and they're tipping the scales in Oregon and Washington. let alone Alaska and Canada. I mean, it's not an animal species that's on the decline. They could have multiple litters a year, and that puts your livelihood, your pets, your game animals, and yourself in tremendous danger.
Yeah, so it puts all the other animals in tremendous danger. I do get the comment of, what do you think will happen when they, are you afraid they're going to come after you? And my answer to that is, please don't come after me.
Because we can't shoot them.
Yeah, that's the only time that I can actually shoot a wolf, is if I am in danger.
Yeah.
But yeah, it puts, we have people come here to hunt. That's part of how we make our livelihood here on the place, as do most ranchers in the West. It also, our wildlife people here, most of their income has to come from the sale of hunting licenses. So we have put a species in the state that will decrease the number of licenses they can sell and increase the cost to them to manage.
Yes.
So, just what every business wants to have.
So you're the governor of Colorado. What's your solution to the wolf situation?
So they need to manage the wolves. So the Parks and Wildlife, and I think the people on the ground here understand that, but in the state of Colorado right now, the governor has his fingerprints all over everything that says wolf, or looks like a wolf, or is a wolf. And but if they manage it like they do the rest of the species, so they manage them in game units, so as soon as one unit has the number of animals that they need to, they start having hunting. And now we are, because of them getting listed again federally, that takes it out of the hands of the governor right now.
Yeah.
And which, the only person I think that doesn't really right now understand that is the governor, because he still thinks that he has rules in place too.
Yeah.
But
it's comical, but it's scary.
oh yeah,
because it's affecting, well, they affect the whole ecosystem, and they fail to realize that it really does need to be managed on a state level and not a federal level. Like Canada has, I don't know, 60,000 wolves, give or take. They're not going to stay in Canada. They're not fenced in. They could come down here, no problem. They're wild animals. They're free to roam wherever they go.
yeah.
For us in Colorado, though, honestly, at this point, we don't want Colorado to be in charge, because the governor would not let us control them at all. Whereas federal regulations, if they're a problem, eventually they'll let them, not us, but somebody control that. So for right now, it's not horrible that they are relisted in Colorado. Not an ideal situation if we had a different person calling the shots, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a kind of subjective thing. If your life is in danger, they're coming after your cows, and you kill a wolf. How do they know you weren't in harm's way? I mean, who's to say? They're gonna second guess you when they're not there to see it.
Yeah, so I can tell you with our governor here right now, so
named them.
First time we had an animal killed here on the ranch, and I had the wildlife officer had to come out, and we had to verify that it was wolves, even though there are wolf tracks everywhere.
Very evident.
Yeah, it would. I mean, the normal person would have showed up there and go, 2 seconds. Yep, this is a wolf attack. But we have to prove that the animal was alive before the wolves killed it and ate on it. And so when that happened, of course, and the news got a hold of it, we had people from the press or papers coming out here to do an interview, want to look at what is going on here. So I contacted my local wildlife officer and I said, listen, I'd like it if you came here. They're going to come here. I don't want to answer questions that are, questions for wildlife officers. I said, I'm not comfortable with answering questions that you should be answering. So he had to call his boss. And then I got a call back from further up the ladder that they cannot answer any questions about wolves without it going through the governor's office.
Wow.
So that's how it's been with every single time we have something here. When the press is here, they have to wait. It usually takes them about 16 hours for the governor to get out of bed and to be able to answer questions about wolves. So I know that they had, for a short period of time, they had a wolf kill, a cow that was a wolf kill on their website that they had to take down. So he's very much in control of the wolf situation. This problem, if we would have had the ability to chase wolves away from the ranch prior to 3 animals killed, we could have averted this situation.
And that was through rubber bullets and things of that nature.
Yes, and just even being able to scare them off. So we weren't even able to chase them off, just, scare them away. The rubber bullets, that was one thing that came out later that we were given, which that actually held up our ability. So that after the first animal was killed, the Parks and Wildlife people were actually going to give me the ability to use rubber bullets and that chase wolves away. Now, the closest I've ever been to a wolf in daylight hours is about 300 yards, which rubber bullets are not effective at 300 yards.
Yeah, they're very cagey animals.
Yes. I mean, the success rate in Idaho to kill wolf is 0.3%. I mean, if you could get within 30 yards of a wolf, it wouldn't be 0.3%.
Yep.
But that held up. They had to examine whether or not it was safe to use rubber bullets on the wolves and that until after we had 2 more animals dead. And then they decided, well, maybe he should be able to use, some of these things to try to scare the wolves off. Well, at that point, it's really too late. And if these were anything other than a wolf, if you had any other large predator in Colorado that had killed something 3 different times, they'd be gone.
Yep.
They'd get rid of it. So this right now, and even throughout this country, you see wolves getting managed unlike the other animals that are predators out there.
Yeah, 100%.
And this whole scenario is, well, we need the wolves because they're an apex predator, and they show you, this is how things line up. These are the apex predators. There's one apex predator that's never on there and they never talk about, and that's people. We are the apex predator, period.
Yep. That's fact. That's fact.
Yeah.
The wolf has always been the poster child for the animal rights activists. Whether they are endangered or not, which in my opinion, they're not. That's the poster child.
Yes. Well, I mean, so we went from 2 wolves one year to 8 wolves the next year, and then we keep having more wolves coming into the state that are just migrating down.
And in April, they'll have another.
Yeah, and so shortly after the 15th of April, we'll probably have, another 6 pups.
Yep.
So the year after that, the pups that are now going to be a year old,
They'll have
they
more
will start
pups.
mating. Yeah. So,
And plus the ones that they're going to reintroduce into Colorado.
yes.
You
And
know,
the ones here will all know to hunt cows, right? Because pups are going to teach their pups, and it's not going to be just one pack that goes after cows.
and yeah, once a pack gets big enough, they split off and there's 2 packs and 4 packs, and they spread out throughout the state. And then they have a real problem on their hands.
Yeah, we haven't figured out how to take care of the current problem, so we're going to add more wolves.
Exactly. All right. Well, I do appreciate your time, and I hope we are able to get this message out there and, see what we can do on a federal level, let alone a state level. And I appreciate your time coming on.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thanks again.
All right. Bye.